second market and business day for the week starts right now here on Frontier Opening Bell. Everyone, welcome to the show. Let's get started. I am Bosun Namofaye. Of course, the global market still reacting to last week raft of interest rates decisions by big central banks around the world. Today, news out of Australia was a hold on interest rate. China is cutting one of its benchmark rates, looking to pump as much as nearly $200 billion into the market to spur equity buying by banks, pension funds, fund managers and others, and of course, accelerate the growth of the second biggest economy in the world. So the market's reacting to these externalities, and this will be part of the consideration before the Central Bank of Nigeria's monetary policy later today. That will be briefing at the end of its two-day meeting, which is expected at about 2 o'clock Nigerian time. The Bank of Ghana is also deciding interest rates, and Addison, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, would also be doing his regular press briefing online today, tomorrow. Keep this in mind. Then you've got later in the week hearing from the central bank in Lesotho. There's a couple of other more in our crosshairs for the current week. But look at the markets. We're starting Monday, roughly 8 to the headline figure market value on Monday to start the Nigerian market with the shares of UPE, FBN Holdings, outside the banking sector. Flamis, Guinness Nigeria made some gains. That added 14 points to the NGX main index, what they call the composite index. The BRVM was bigger by 0.41%. The Ghana market was flattish. The Egyptian market started its rest of the week, Monday, with the rest of the region. Casablanca and the Tunisian stock markets were green Monday. EGX 30 down by 5 basis points after starting with some positive gains on Sunday. In Nairobi, the market was down less than 0.1%, while the GSE was much stronger, 1.13%. The government in Pretoria says it's strongly positive on the SARB's repo cut last week, 25 points down to 8%, and taking the prime lending lower to 11.5%. Good news coming through for South Africans as they're seeing their mortgages being priced lower by banks sending messages to their customers that they're paying lower on their mortgage lending. And that's some good news for the new government of national unity in South Africa. Let's take this up and go to East Africa, grab a couple of headlines. This Tuesday, President Ruto is attending the United Nations General Assembly, and he himself, as well as other African leaders, are punching hard on the need for reforms in the global governance and financing and funding multilateralism. The same echo was sounded by the EFDB President, Dr. Akumi Adesina. In Kenya, the Treasury is freezing fresh funds for Consolidated Bank ahead of its sell-off. The authorities want to dispose of that commercial lender. And the value of Uganda's coffee exports about 83% in the month of August. That's quite robust. And getting the Robusta coffee out there. The cost of coffee is rising globally because Robusta coffee price is also jumping. Let's move on. Controversies stalking German firm, which is awarded to print Kenya's currency, 14 billion shillings. Central Bank of Kenya's money is still there. The tender is between the German firm and the traditional printing company De La Rua. And Tanzania's investment value rose by 60% to $1.6 billion in the second quarter. That's the period ended June. Let me take you to West Africa. Just move on quickly. Checking with Nigeria's central bank later today will report the numbers for you. The expectation is a hold. By the way, ahead of that, the Naira dipped sharply on Monday. On the market at the autonomous foreign exchange market, stock markets and fixed income jump ahead of today's rate decision. The $3.5 billion Bakassi deep sea port construction in Nigeria is expected to start very soon. That's according to the agency responsible for concessioning arrangements. That's the ICRC. And Nigeria is looking at World Bank approval for 3 new loan projects of $1.5 billion this week. The UN General Assembly, just on the sidelines of that, Nigeria's Vice President met yesterday with the rest of his team and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. $320 million was the latest promise by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce to invest in Nigeria through private sector organizations. About $100 million of that will go to FCMB Bank for onward lending to SMEs, especially women empowerment projects. About $200 million of that will go to Nigeria's mortgage refinancing, while the balance will go to a local company which is involved in cashew processing. The UNGA is on in the middle of the business sidelines. Yesterday, we also saw Afrexim Bank inaugurating the Africa Diaspora Center. That's a thumbs up for the Afrexim Bank and other partners in doing that. Gambia, debt to GDP ratio is slowing down to about 72% from 85% previous over the 2-year period. And Liberia's Consolidated Group and DSTV are rejecting the LBS uplink requests. The guys got to find a way to resolve that, by the way. But let's see how that moves on. Let's move on to Southern Africa and just see how some headlines are catching up this Tuesday. Of course, South Africa's unity government is making some splash. Again, some policies. Then the SARB, inflation retreating around 4.4% below the SARB target. Interest rate cut the first time in nearly 5 years. In Namibia, the Chinese firms are reducing main water or Namibian water tender price by as much as $350 million US. The problems around Zimbabwe's new currency, the ZiG, gold back is not over yet. So currency problems are raising the cost of doing business locally. The central bank in Zimbabwe is putting roughly $90 million to support the new currency. And CBC Holdings, listed on the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange, is laying off at least 13 senior executives in a massive restructuring of the top echelon of the organization. And finally, in that region, Mozambique and Malawi are set to roll out trade and security facilitation projects between the two countries. Nice one. Let's go on. North Africa. What's making the headlines today? The central bank in Egypt is listing the stake in the United Bank on the EGX in the first quarter of next year. And that's some good news to deepen the Egyptian stock market. Mauritian companies are setting up a major e-waste recycling project in Egypt, while SDX Energy is announcing a new exploration of gas in Morocco, while the North African economy is looking at 46.8% surge in foreign investment so far this year. It's been a very positive year so far, roughly 50% upside in foreign investment in Morocco. Those are your headlines this Tuesday. We're sitting on the edge of our chair waiting for Nigeria and Ghana to announce interest rate decisions this Tuesday, the 24th of 2024, the month of September. Bye for now, everyone. Have a great day.